Everyone knows that financing is really one of the hot topics in senior housing and care these days. There's just not enough of it out there, and we're hoping that in 2010 that'll change a bit. But to talk about this subject, I have Doug Bath. He's the group head of healthcare finance at Walker and Dunlop, and has been in various roles in seniors housing for the last 10 or 15 years.
15.
And Doug, I know Walker and Dunlop does Fannie Mae, that you do Freddie Mac, you do HUD. Where do you see the most activity today?
Well, clearly HUD is very active.
Clearly.
I think HUD is getting a lot of attention because they're one of the few lenders that are doing construction financing, but HUD is also very attractive for a lot of folks because the interest rates are so low and the terms are so good. Fannie and Freddie are also very active. Freddie Mac's capped ARM program is much sought after, especially in the multifamily, but also in seniors. It's really a great floating rate option. And then on Fannie Mae, their credit facilities are pretty popular as well for the bigger portfolios.
But with Fannie and Freddie, with their particular financial problems, is it getting harder to process loans through them? Are they tightening up or changing any of their underwriting criteria, or is it just pretty much business as usual because they've had such a success in the business in the seniors housing area?
Yeah, I like to say that if there's one thing that a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac representative would like to message, like they'd like to get out, is we are open for business, and they are. They are hungry to put out dollars. I think that's interesting in that in the early part of 2009, the MBS market came back with pretty strong interest and continues to have interest and demand. So that has kept rates very low. Obviously, the 10-year Treasury is low. But as it relates to the corporate issues that are going on with Fannie and Freddie, I don't really see much of that. I don't see any tightening of underwriting principles in the last 12 or 15 months. Obviously, prior to that, there was some tightening, but really it's pretty much business as usual.
Business as usual, good. And your Walker & Dunlop's client base on the senior housing side, is it more assisted living, independent living, skilled nursing, or completely across the board?
Well, up until a year ago, it was exclusively assisted living, with some fairly well-known borrowers and managers, and then and also some more regional or smaller. A year ago, we merged with a Credit Suisse subsidiary called Column Guaranteed.
Oh, right.
They had a reason we did that is because they had a Freddie Mac and a HUD license. Prior to that, we only had a Fannie Mae license. And so now, for the last year, we've been able to offer Fannie, Freddie, and HUD to our clients. What that has brought us is a different sort of customer base, in that it has obviously opened us up to the skilled nursing sector, and we're seeing a lot of interest there.
Okay. And are borrowers today realistic in terms of what they can get in the market, or are they just happy to get anything?
Well, I guess being realistic is a relative term, right? They are happy to get anything. I think they're realistic on their interest rates. I think interest rates, I rarely find a borrower disappointed in the interest rate. If there's one thing that they more tend to get disappointed with, it would be the loan to value, just the general proceeds. Right. With the underwriting criteria really exclusively focused on the historical performance, you often get challenges with borrowers really wanting to price off of future. Right. And so that's where the disconnect happens.
Well, with that loan to value, I mean, obviously the loan to value has decreased. Where are all your customers getting their equity?
Well, in terms of construction or refinancing? Construction,
acquisition financing, you name it. I mean, where's the equity coming from?
Well, first of all, there's not very much acquisition financing going on. So, I don't really necessarily see any of that, very much of that. I think what I tend to hear from the equity investors is that, or from our borrowers, would be that they, as the sponsor, have a equity investor that is willing and ready to invest, subject to that same sponsor lining up the debt. And so it's kind of a chicken and the egg type thing, where you end up parallel tracking your equity and your debt. Once the debt is on board, the equity quickly follows suit. But in terms of the borrowers having to come up with extra cash, I don't necessarily see that. But again, with the agencies, it's more about financing stabilized properties, not necessarily the ones that are distressed.
Right. And are you seeing much interest in construction financing?
Yeah.
On the skilled nursing side?
Not so much in skilled nursing. The CON process has really, curtailed that quite a bit.
Assisted living?
Oh yeah.
In this market?
I get a lot of interest from assisted living developers. I don't know how many calls a week or a day I get, but it's many. I'd say we don't do a ton of that business because you're really talking about HUD then, and HUD will do AL new construction, but to say they're bullish on that would be probably an overstatement. They're cautious. They are again open for business, but they're cautious with investing in AL new construction because they have analyzed their existing portfolio and have found that the higher number of claims or foreclosures come from assisted living as opposed to their skilled nursing portfolio. And of the assisted living, the higher percentage of those foreclosures come from assets that are just been open for 1 to 3 years. So they're still in lease up. The borrower is not able or willing to put in extra cash to fund shortfalls, and therefore turns the keys over to HUD.
Okay. And your forecast for this year, you're going to have a solid year, you think, or similar to last year?
We're going to do more than last year. Last year was a very good year for us, not just from a company perspective, but also senior housing. This year we are expecting very robust year.
Good.
On all agency fronts.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.